So this comes from the New York Post. It says in Logansport, Indiana, kids are being pushed out of schools after migrants swelled the county's population by 30%. Everybody else is falling behind. All right, so this is going to get into the and this is where I think it's a little unclear in the article whether it's talking about legal migrants, illegal migrants, or if it's like what JD Vance was explaining at the VP debate, if they are technically both, right? They're illegal migrants that can go online and apply for some kind of, you know, permit or something to be here, you know, that kind of thing. And I think that's more so probably what we're seeing. But let's be fair. If we're a nation that is running out of housing, which I don't know if that's true, we don't need to be taking in as many immigrants, legal or illegal. Just you know, an observation there of numbers, you know, math. But let's look at this article a little bit and see how it's impacting folks. Because to me, and you guys know this if you've watched the channel, one of the things I'm absolutely 100% most passionate about are our children. You know, I've got my little girl. I think all the time about boys and girls sports. You know what kind of opportunities could be taken away from her, especially with her being in sports, her going into the locker room, just all kinds of stuff. So it's constantly on my mind. I teach the youth at church. I've always loved children, you know, in an appropriate way. They are the most innocent among us, and we have to protect them at all costs. So anytime there's a story that pops up and children are being impacted, it grabs my attention. So we're going to look at this a little bit, and I don't know if we're going to read the whole thing. It just kind of depends on how far it goes, but let's dive into it. So this is, again, Logansport, Indiana. Thousands of migrants from Haiti and dozens of other countries have arrived in this isolated Indiana city of 18,000 in just a few years. Furious residents say they no longer feel safe in the once sleepy downtown, and their kids are being muscled out of schools by new students who don't know English and need a lot of help. They blame Vice President Kamala Harris and President Biden. Do something. Our community cannot withstand this many people being here. Candace Espinoza, 32, a local photographer, told the Post when asked what her message would be to the Democratic presidential candidate. Nancy Baker, 44, the mother of two, was more blunt about what she would tell Harris: get off my property. I don't see how she can stand behind Biden the whole time, and she keeps deflecting anytime they ask questions. Yes, she does. She's really good at doing that, isn't she? That's one of the kids, I believe, there. Cheyenne. Yep, we're going to talk about Cheyenne. Cheyenne, 16-year-old honor student. It says it's not entirely clear how many migrants have arrived in Logansport, but Cass County Health Department Administrator Serenity Alter told the Post that the surrounding area's population has surged nearly 30%. That would put the arriving number of migrants at more than 11,000 in a county that had just 38,000 people in 2020. Another rough estimate from Logansport Mayor Chris Martin pegs the number of arrivals from the impoverished Caribbean country at $2,000 to $3,000 over the last 4 years. What's clear is the number of Haitian immigrant students in Logansport School has increased 15-fold. From 14, that's 14 in 2021 to 207 this year. Now, I don't know where you live. That may not seem like a super huge boost in numbers, but it sounds like this is an extremely small town. So when the number goes up that significantly, that quickly, there's going to be a lot of adjustments that need to happen that may or may not in a timely manner. We'll keep reading here. It says, Baker said her 16-year-old daughter, Cheyenne, dropped out of the local high school because teachers seemingly had no time for English-speaking pupils. Let's read that again. Baker said her 16-year-old daughter, Cheyenne, dropped out of the local high school because teachers seemingly had no time for the English-speaking pupils anymore. There's something wrong with this. It says there were way too many kids, and it seemed to her that since they didn't speak the language or didn't understand what was going on, they were getting more attention, Baker said. And so she and the other kids grew up here who were having issues or struggling, and certain things weren't able to get the attention that they needed, the help they needed from the school. So it's almost like that joke, when I call the 1-800 number, it says, you know, press one for English or something like that, or I don't remember how it goes. But it's like it's an afterthought. Like English is an afterthought in some of these situations. If they're teaching these kids and the English speaking students aren't getting any attention, any help, any focus, I mean, that's devastating to our society. And look, I'm going to bring you back here for a second. And despite what any of the Joys say, I know Kamala says it's all about Joy, right? Well, you got Joy Reid and you got Joy or Sunny Hostin and Joy. I don't know. You got all these different Joys and Sunnies and whatever. They will always say racism, racism, racism. That's their job. That's what they're supposed to do, right? Anytime somebody says, oh, well, you're only piping up about, the black or the dark skinned immigrants that are coming up here. Well, they're the ones causing the issues. If it was a bunch of Irish folk coming over here causing issues, guess what we'd be complaining about? Them Irish. But it ain't them. It doesn't matter to us where they come from. It matters to us how they assimilate to our society, because that's how it should be happening. People should be coming into this country because they want to be in America, living the American life, the American way, speaking like Americans, following laws like Americans, contributing to the American society, chasing that American dream. So when they're coming here and they're waving the flags of their home country and they keep the cultures of their home countries so much so that it overrides the cultures here of in the States, that's a problem. That's a problem. It's one thing to hold on to your culture and again, assimilate into this culture here in this, in this country, and to find where that fits in. You look at the different, foods and seasonings and celebrations of holidays and all these different things that have come together in this, the melting pot, as Mark Twain would say. It can work, but it's not with certain groups. And that's what's happening. These kids are getting pushed out of schools. Okay. The same party, and this is the hypocrisy. This is the kind of stuff that's stupid to me. The same party that says, oh, we got to eliminate student loan debt, we got to get more kids in college, we got to help them be successful, are the same ones supporting this crap that's over flooding our school systems and forcing United States citizens' children out of the school. Or they can't get the attention, so their grades will drop. I don't remember if I read that in here. I know it goes on, but her grades started slipping. Cheyenne's did. Her grades started slipping because she couldn't get any attention. She couldn't get any help. And so what was she? She became a second-class citizen in her own country to an education system that we're supposed to be, supporting, and is greater than, anything out there. And anytime Trump says he wants to get rid of the, the Board of Education or what, Department of Education and stuff like that, they go after him. Oh, he's so evil. This is the crap. This is why. The day that a U.S. citizen, black, white, brown, olive skin, whatever, the day a U.S. citizen becomes a second-class citizen in their own nation, whether it's at a job or at a school or, paying for, their own expenses and stuff, which is where we're heading with a lot of these handouts that are being, given out now. That's a bad day. That's a day that we are losing our footage, our ground of being a civilized nation, of being a strong nation. It's just another way to divide us and really to infiltrate us. And I think there's greater powers that be that are pulling the strings here. But that's another topic for another day. What do you guys think? If that was your kid, would you keep him in school? Would you pull him out of school? Would you try to send him to another school? Hey, Trump's always been about school choice. I love what Steven Crowder does. Steven Crowder goes out and talks to people about school choice. and no one has been able to point out that it's a bad thing. Like, the thing that everybody goes to is, well, not everybody can take advantage of it or have a ride to a different school or something. Yeah, well, then they go to the school they were already going to go to anyway. There's no good arguments that I've ever heard against school choice. So maybe if Trump was in office and we had school choice, maybe she could still be in school, just a different school that actually paid her attention, helped her out, and helped her be successful. Now she's homeschooled doing online courses and probably better off because of it, honestly. I don't know. Are you guys homeschooling your kids? You putting them in public school? You putting them in private school? You have concerns about stuff like this going on? Let me know in the comments below. This to me is a very hot topic. It's a very alarming topic for what our future looks like.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out this clip from the Morning Mayhem. Remember, this is just a portion of the full show that comes out every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you hadn't already, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the full shows or these tasty little nuggets.